Amid the backlash against Turkey and India over the former's open support for Pakistan, especially during Operation Sindoor, we're now learning that the DGCA has uncovered several safety and compliance violations by Turkish Airlines during recent surprise checks at major Indian airports, raising concerns over the airline's adherence to international and domestic aviation standards. Now, what we're bringing in right now has taken place in Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi and in Bangalore, so across the country. The inspection found that cargo classified as dangerous goods did not have required permissions from DGCA for the transportation of explosives to and from or for India. These permissions were neither attached nor referenced in the dangerous goods declaration. Now, we'll just bring you more context over here around what happened. Now, this is 4 Indian airports, as we told you, some lapses including improper and incomplete paperwork for the carriage of dangerous goods. All of this taking place amid the continuing deteriorating relationship between India and Turkey. Now, we're just going to go over to an expert to understand a little bit more around this story. Mark Martin joins us. He is an aviation expert. And he's with us here on the show this morning. Good morning, Mark. Thank you for joining us here on the show. Mark, we're just highlighting for our audiences what it is that the DGCA has flagged. First, if I could ask you if you've just had a chance to look over the different aspects that the DGCA has flagged, what were your first impressions?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me. I think what the DGCA has done is this is part of the standard surveillance that DGCA does for not just Turkish Airlines, but for any aircraft, any cargo, any commercial aircraft that comes into India, whether it's Russian registered, Chinese, Turkish, Thai, American, Emirates. This is something which you have to do under something which is called SAFA, or Safety Assessment of Foreign Aircraft. And anyone who flies into India, you have to comply with law of the land. So this is something which is not new. India has been doing SAFA inspections since the last 50 and 60 years. It's the intent of this inspection that's a bigger concern, because if you do this inspection with an aircraft coming in from Emirates or even Singapore Airlines or Malaysian Airlines or United or Delta or whatever, you're going to have findings. It doesn't mean that it's a terror threat. Now, DG or dangerous goods is governed by IATA. Okay, so there are a lot of things under DG which you have to comply when it comes to documentation. It doesn't mean that it is a bomb or something which is a terror threat or something which is an explosive. Certain chemicals are considered explosives, whether you're carrying acetone or even your lithium-ion batteries are combustible. They're also considered explosives. But it's the point I'm trying to say here, guys, is that I don't think we should. My personal opinion is Turkey has been one of the strongest aviation partners with India since we got on board with Star Alliance. Star Alliance and Turkish Airlines are part of it, and Air India has been working with Turkish Airlines, Turkish Technique, MROs in Turkey, even Indigo and SpiceJet have got spare part agreements with Turkish Airlines for the last 15, 20 years. So, I have one is that I think we need to de-link geopolitical views with aviation, Right. Even the whole issue with the 777s being operated by Indigo. Indigo and Turkish Airlines are doing nothing wrong in accordance with the law. They're operating an aircraft. You're accessing Indians to millions of destinations at an affordable price. So just because Turkish have a view on a certain geopolitical, skirmish that we had with our neighbor, it doesn't mean you one fine day, India's foreign policy switched to a Kati and an Aba, and our whole aviation sector starts to suffer.
Okay, so I think Mark, I really appreciate your points. I appreciate the nuance you're bringing into this discussion. Let me just ask you, so we'll go point by point, because for those who are watching who are lay people and who perhaps don't have the expert knowledge that you do in this area, just first tell us the violations that the DGCA is saying are taking place, as you're pointing out that, in itself it needs to be looked at, but the violations it is saying are taking place, how serious are those violations? That's question number 1. Do they raise red flags for you? That's number 2. Or are you saying that violations of a less serious degree but of this kind do take place when international travel happens?
So, yeah, safety assessment of foreign aircraft, some of these are findings. They're not violations. A violation is when you're told to do something and you don't do it, and you compromise safety in the aircraft, in air, and on ground. That's a violation. This is inspection of aircraft to check whether all your documentation, your systems on board, your procedures, your policies are all working fine. And while we validate foreign aircraft, even when our Indigo or Air India or SpiceJet or our airlines fly to international destinations, even they come under the same audit requirements.
All
Okay, there have
right.
been several audit findings that even Air India has been put to the test with. I mean, some of them pretty severe, but but the U.S. or the UAE, they don't make a huge big noise about it. And I think somewhere we need to depoliticize this. It's nothing but a safety audit. It's a safety requirement. It's a compliance requirement. Somebody has to go and audit these aircraft to make sure that they are up to certain standard. And these findings are sent back to the airline and the regulator in that country for them to action and get back on an action comply date.
Okay,
So,
so Mark, I do want to say once again that we appreciate, because your larger point here is that aviation, the deep relationships this airline has had in the past with other Indian airlines, all of that needs to be preserved. This sector needs to be insulated from developments that are taking place politically. I think those are your larger points, and we really appreciate them. We have unfortunately run out of time, but I appreciate you taking us through the technicality of this, explaining it to our viewers in this granular sense.